We now invite our director, Dr. Bindu to address the gathering.
Well, what did you think? Happy parents today? Quiz question for you. What word would you use to describe this whole event? You can say it loudly. Okay, how much on 10? I can hear the choir say it. How much on 10?
Someone said 100 on 10, so to all the primary students, so it's a fantastic job.
Superb. I think their enthusiasm was absolutely infectious. Our eyes were glued to the stage every minute that they performed. Grade 1 began with the delightful little ones who came up with their cheery grins, and some of them had this very mischievous twinkle in their eyes, which was so lovely to see. And then there were some with wide-eyed innocence, you know, even as they performed on stage. We began with Mowgli coming on stage. We ended with, who was the last character on stage? Mowgli to Mary Poppins. And in between, I lost count somewhere along the way. We probably had about 200 characters that appeared on stage, if not more, right? You probably noticed that everybody from Marvel Comics, Minnie, Mickey, and so many, Charlie, the Chocolate Factory, each of those grades went through producing a different whole array of characters. Candyman, a Chinese dragon that was quite spectacular. Irrespective of what that little role was that the children had to come up on stage and play or portray, they did a fantastic job. Whether it was anger, whether it was anguish and sadness, whether it was being fierce, whether it was being fierce or fearful, whatever it was they were meant to portray, each one of them did a wonderful job. Let's congratulate all of those that came on stage. The dancers were extremely lively, very energetic. Like I said, their enthusiasm was absolutely infectious. The backstage crew were wonderful, bringing on and taking off props on stage. We saw a whole array of stage props, whether it was the lamp, the tree stump, personal props that the children had, spheres to bird masks. We had a wonderful backdrop that was, fantastic. The IT team did a superb job on it. Many colorful costumes to suit what was meant to happen, the scene on stage. But the 36 students who took it all on their own were really the singers who were here, the choir. What a fantastic job you did. Every single song, including the first one on stage, was sung so beautifully. You sang from the heart. You did such a wonderful job. The solo singers were stunning. You were absolutely beautiful in the way you sang. It's a gift that you have. Treasure it. Wonderful, wonderful job. And I don't know if those of you at the back could actually watch their expressions while they were singing, actually enjoying the singing, and it actually reflected when we heard you sing on stage. So absolutely wonderful job. And they're all 6 years to 10.5 years of age, right? So almost professional singers. What a wonderful job. Congratulations to you. To all the narrators who are sitting here and the voiceovers, you did a fantastic job. Can you just stand and turn so the audience can see you, please? Please stand up and turn around. Let them see you. You did a very, very good job. Beautiful voices. Thank you, children. Thank you. Well, we have much to be proud about. I'd also like to thank all those who work behind the scenes, the teachers who are here, the music teachers, dance teachers, art teachers, class teachers, subject teachers, everybody. I mean, what a fantastic production. What a wonderful example of teamwork. Tremendous, tremendous effort. If a child does well on stage, I mean, I saw every child on stage absolutely confident, smile, knowing exactly what he or she had to do, where to stand. Did you see even one child uncertain about what to do? I didn't see a single child who was unsure. I mean, it was so wonderful to see. They knew exactly what they had to do, when they had to do, when to move. It was absolutely wonderful. So heartiest congratulations to the principal, the coordinators, and the entire team of teachers. Wonderful job. Thought that I'd like to leave the parents with is clearly all of you have some extremely talented and bright children. And given bringing them up in today's world, I think parents too need a whole different set of skills. While you have bright and talented children, it also means being able to channelize their energy and their time in different ways. And that's one of the reasons why we provide a platform, we create opportunities for children to develop and hone a whole array of skills, but also get involved so they're actively engaged in enjoying developing those skills, but also building those skills along the way right through school. And perhaps that's something that we need to do jointly as parents and teachers, only because more recently we're reading too many reports about the effects of IT, the effects of screen time and devices on children. Earlier, teachers would bemoan the dropping of attention spans and a lack of focus in children, but increasingly, you're probably reading more and more reports about increasing anxiety and depression in children, all linking back to screen time. So I would urge all of you parents, while all of those devices have their value, limit screen time as much as possible. I'm not saying no screen time, because that would become a huge source of conflict between parents and children, but limit it as much as possible. Get them engaged in as many activities as possible as they grow up. Get children to do chores in the house. You may have drivers and maids and top work. Make sure that they do some chores in the house, because one day they're going to leave you and go off to university. They'll have to make their own bed, do their own laundry, fix their own meals. And if we don't start when they're really young, it's going to be a huge challenge for them when they get older. I'd also like you to think about how we build emotional resilience in children. And it's a big one. Increasingly, we're seeing children not trying because they don't want to fail. And I would strongly recommend that we build a culture in school where we actually celebrate failure. That sounds strange, doesn't it? I can see the audience looking at me and saying, hey, how can we celebrate failure? Given an opportunity, given a situation where we have children who don't want to try because they're scared they fail, I'd rather they try and fail, right? So if a child here said, I don't know to dance, I can't dance, I don't know to sing, I can't sing, I don't even want to try it because things will go wrong, it's not going to help us. We'd rather they try, we'd rather they make their mistakes when they're 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, up to 15 years, in a controlled environment of school, right? It's okay for them to fail, and hopefully when they get on later in life, they learn to pick themselves up when there's a failure in their life and move on. And in relation to that, I'd ask all of you parents, what is your definition of success? And I do want you to think about it. And I think it's a very, very important one. You might say academic success for your child, and I think increasingly principal teachers and I would say academic success will happen because it's a 14-year process as far as we are concerned. Cognitive development happens, academic skills develop. I think we're more worried about the affective side of the child today, the emotional side, the social side of the child today. And that's an area that I would urge all of you parents to think about. right? So if your child doesn't do as well as in a test, our job really is to support them and see how we can support them. The solution doesn't lie in creating an atmosphere in the house where everybody is not happy, everyone's not uncomfortable, right? We live in a world of competition, it's true. And I can tell you straight away, with many of you parents, when you see the neighbor's child getting 20 on 20, but your son or daughter doesn't, how many of you honestly tell me, you have a little bit of fear, you have a little bit of concern, you have a little bit of anxiety, right? I see some of you smiling about it. It's natural, but I'll tell you this, we see this of so many children. They may not get the perfect 20 on 20 when they're 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. It's good to aspire for it. But I can tell you that the alumni that we see may not have done as well in school, may not have been in the top 5, have done extremely well for themselves in life. So our goal is not just short-term, here and now, just those tests around the corner, but it's really, are they emotionally resilient? Are they socially well-adjusted? Can they pick themselves up after a failure? Are they able to get on with their friends around them, right? Those are equally important characteristics and attributes that we want our children to develop. Right? And I want to leave you with that thought. I want to leave you with that thought, and it's an extremely important one because we live in a very competitive society, so competitive that we sometimes forget the child, his emotions, her feelings, and I think that's extremely important. So with those thoughts, I'd like to wish you all the best and reassure all of you parents that we think of you as partners in progress, the progress of our children. We have the same dreams, we share the same dreams, you as parents and we as teachers. And for us, it's always not a short-term plan, but it's a long-term plan. It's a 5-year plan, it's a 10-year plan, depending on where the child is with us. So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish and thank all of the grandparents who are here today. It's wonderful. Can you just stand, please? It's always lovely to see the grandparents in the audience. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Your children, your grandchildren would have been delighted to see you in the audience, and that's wonderful. I'd like to wish all of the students all the very best. You know, listening to, I'll steal a line from what the choir sang earlier from Whole New World, from Aladdin. They spoke about wondrous sights and that the world should be a dazzling place, and it's what I wish for our children, that they have a sense of wonder and are dazzled by everything that they witness or experience on a daily basis. So good luck to all of your children and good luck to all the parents. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our whole journey was filled with laughter, fun, and learning. We had a great time putting up the show. Hope you had as much fun watching it.
We extend our thanks to dear parents and grandparents for being with us this morning and making us feel proud. And above all, your love for us is heartwarming.
Our heartfelt thanks to Jyotsna ma'am and all of the teachers for guiding and encouraging us throughout our practice sessions. Thank you, Mr. Balu, for capturing memories that we will always treasure. And thank you, Mr. Nizam and his team for providing all the technical support.
A big thank you to the teachers for providing us with the most creative and amazing props.
Last but not the least, a big thanks to the support staff for their contributions in several aspects in today's event. Thank you all.
We request you to stand for the national anthem.